So hello you guys, welcome back to my channel. So it's time for another tier list, another ranking because they're fun. I love doing them. You guys seem to love watching them and interacting. So we're going to be doing another one today. This is a ranking the seasons one, and I believe it's season 1 to 10. I don't think season 11 is on the list just yet. But I'll tell you where that ranks at the end anyway, just to include it, even though I know it's not finished yet. Before we get started, as always, the link to my Twitter, Instagram and Patreon is down below. Over on Patreon there's a whole bunch of different things that goes on. I do reactions to old and new shows like The X-Files, Buffy the Vampire Slayer, Bridgerton, Moon Knight. There's also movie reactions and live streams. I'm going to be starting season 6 of Peaky Blinders real soon too. So the link to the link to that is down below in the description if you want to check that out. I've changed my hair again, but this is only temporary. It didn't come out the way I wanted it to, so we're getting rid of it. The colour stripper is sitting on the kitchen counter downstairs waiting. Also, yes, I know, I'm aware of the drama, I guess, has been going on surrounding the Darling Carl spin-off show. I don't really have thoughts on that except for this whole situation's a mess, man. They need to stop announcing shows until they're actually ready and in production and they know what the fuck is going down, because empty promises is not a good look. On the flip side to that, I think that actors should be allowed to partake or depart whatever project they want to. And I don't think actors should be threatened, harassed or sent death threats online. I thought that would go without saying, but apparently not. So yeah, let's get into the ranking the seasons. It's going to be me just going to be getting death threat next. I don't even think I'm worth sending death threats to. I can't even string a sentence together. This is ranking the seasons. I already know that this list is not going to please anyone. All I ask is that you don't tell me that I'm wrong, because it's opinions. Opinions are subjective. Everyone views things differently, so that's fine. If you don't agree with me, by all means, let me know what you think down in the comments, but don't tell me I'm wrong, because it's my opinion. And opinions can't be wrong because they're personal. The amount of times I got that comment on, I want to say it was my favourite characters list, or it was one of the tier lists that we did. The amount of times I got people just being like, lol, you're wrong. And I'm like, you can disagree with someone. Doesn't make them wrong. Okay, so straight away, we are just going to go ahead and we're going to put that absolute iconic season of television where it belongs up in the S tier. Even to this day, I go back and whenever I do a rewatch of season 1, it still stands. Now look, I know season 1 wasn't without its flaws looking back on it, but for its time when it did come out, it was fucking incredible. The fact they managed to pull off what they did when this was made is nuts. And like, it was groundbreaking. It was something new. It was something different. They really did go out on a limb with this. Took a huge risk and it fucking paid off, man. Season 1, to this day, I still fucking love. Fantastic storytelling, fantastic both CG and special effects. It's clear to see why the show got to be as big as it was when that was its season 1. That was its taken off point. And I think it's really telling as well, because usually with a show that's been going for so long, season 1 is usually one of the weaker seasons, because if you have a show that's been going on for fucking years, season 1 is old. Season 1 wasn't made at a time where maybe CG or special effects were as strong as they could have been. Something a lot of people bring up when you bring up season 1 is the fact that the walkers were different, the tone was different, the vibe was different, and it's like, well, yeah, because at the time, the vision and the trajectory for what they wanted The Walking Dead to be was different. Like, unless I'm mistaken, I'm pretty sure Frank Darabont was heavily involved in season 1 and had a different view and a different vision for where the show was going to go, where the walkers were going to go, how everything was going to progress from there. So that's why you do see some kind of smarter walkers that like try doors or can climb, they can kind of run too, which you don't see at all past like season 2, I want to say. Maybe you see it a little bit at the start of season 2, but that really dwindles and they just become like walkers. Dumb as doorknob walkers. But that's something that a lot of people bring up when it comes to season 1 and how it was so different. The reason I love season 1 is it's so nostalgic to me. I started it, it's whenever I watch season 1, I'm taken right back to where I was when I watched it to begin with. And season 2, I'm about to catch some heat for this, but I don't care because this is my list. Season 2 is going into alright. My opinion, I wasn't as connected with season 2. I just feel like the farm storyline, it's weird because as much as I do enjoy it, I just found it slow. And I was like, it's a whole season on a farm. I didn't like it. It wasn't my personal favourite. I found it a little bit too slow moving, although it was very character driven and story driven, and it set up and got you used to characters, or got you invested in characters that you would get used to and grow to love. Yeah, I agree, but it wasn't my favourite. I've said that since the get go. It never was. I think that's kind of a hot take. A lot of people love season 2, and whenever I say yeah, I'm not like a big fan of it, people rip into me. So if you're about to do that in the comments, you can, but just know that I don't care. I don't care if you think I'm stupid. I came to terms with that long ago. But yeah, I don't know. Was it the pacing? I don't know what it was about season 2. I mean, it did have its high points. I mean, you had, I'm pretty sure Shane's death was season 2. You Laurie getting pregnant. You had, it was full of drama, and the story was good. It just, I think it was just a setting I didn't like. 3 and 4, I'm gonna go ahead and put into great, because I kind of grouped them together. Yes, they're entirely different seasons, but you know, they deal with so much. Obviously, you have the introduction of the prison, which is my favourite set that The Walking Dead has ever done, ever. I don't know why I got so emotionally attached to that. I think it's going to sound like a weird connection to make, but I think it's because when I was younger, my favourite show was Prison Break. That was from the age of like 13 or 14 onwards, that was just my favourite show. I was obsessed with that show. And I think that the set for this just really reminded me of that, and it brought that kind of familiarity back, and I just loved it. And it's genius. Putting a group of survivors into a situation where they're so back against the wall, no other options, that you're fighting to get into a prison. It's just, you know, the psychology of that as well was just, I loved it. Didn't we start this season with eating dog food as well, or some fucked up shit like that? We were in like an abandoned house. I don't know, the tone that kicked off season 3 that continued on, and then leads into like the introduction of the governor, Woodbury, all that shit. And then Merle, you got Merle coming back into it being a mad son of a bitch, and the projection that his character took in the character arc. Those 2 seasons, just loved them. I liked the introduction of the flu as well. Remember the flu that kind of fucking came for everyone? Michonne joined the show in, wasn't it hang on, I'm going to Google. I'm pretty sure it was season 4, but I'm going to Google it just to be sure. Well, on Wikipedia, she's down as appearing in the finale of season 2. Was that Michonne's first episode? Oh yeah, it does, because you don't actually technically see her. You see her from the back, right? Because it's like the hooded figure by the... Yeah, okay, well, that makes sense. Well, she was properly introduced and we got to meet her in season 3. I love everything that came out of those 2 seasons. I really do. The war at the prison is still probably one of my favourite situations in Walking Dead history. The finale as well was so... The end of that season just took such a dark turn. You had the situation with Daryl, Michonne, Rick and Coral. It just... That was a lot. You had the Lizzie and Mika situation. You had Herschel being killed off. You had the governor being killed off. See, it was an incredible arc. The prison arc and that whole situation is still probably my favourite to this day. Well, second favourite now. I'm going to put season 5 just in good. Like, I didn't love it. I didn't hate it. You know, you had the whole kind of terminus thing. Pretty sure Beth died. Alexandria was introduced. So, like, I liked it. It was a good season. It was a pivotal. I think that is where the show changed, and you could feel it completely changed from what it was. Yeah, obviously there was big moments in it, but I mean, like, for the show as a whole, season 5 was just a turning point, and I liked it. It's not one that I will rewatch very often or go back to very often, but I didn't hate it. Season 6 of The Walking Dead. I'm putting in Superior, and I'm putting season 7 in Superior, and I know that like nobody agrees with that. People, someone left a comment actually that was just petty for the sake of being petty. I mentioned that season 7 was probably my favourite season in Walking Dead history. The season 6 finale was one of my favourite moments in Walking Dead history, because it has been, and I've been anytime I'm asked, that's the answer I give. Like, I'm not shy about it. But someone left a comment and they were like, you do know that the show like dropped off after that and season 7 was trash and blah blah blah. And I'm like, dude, don't try and tell me what to think. This is just what I think. I liked season 6. I liked the build up. I liked the story. There's a lot about season 6 that I did like. I think a lot of it though is, again, nostalgia. That's the season that was airing. It's the season I started doing reactions. It's the season I started up my YouTube for all of this stuff. I got really, really invested in the show, and I just remember like really loving the fuck out of this TV show. The finale broke me as it did everyone else. The hype, to this day, I can't remember a more talked about moment. Whether you love it or hate it, I don't care. It was everywhere. You couldn't escape it. Everybody was talking about it. And then, of course, you know, it came back and Glenn and Abe left. It still makes me salty to this day that people keep bringing up Glenn. A lot of people that hate Negan, they bring up Glenn as a reason. I'm like, that's totally justifiable, but everybody leaves Abe off that list. everyone forgets to mention Abraham. And I'm like, if you're going to hate Negan for the Negan lineup, then how about you mention both victims? But man, I just think the introduction of Negan was so beautifully done. The tension, the music, how it was shot, the tone, everything. Social media back then when it came out, like everything about it was just, it was electric. It's my favourite moment in Walking Dead history. From the season 6 finale to the season 7 premiere and everything about that. I just remember being so excited, and I haven't felt that in a long time for a show. So to me, that's my favourite. And then season 7, like everything that followed afterwards, characters like Dwight, I guess, getting a bit more fleshed out and taking on a different tone. Watching fans be so split on a character as they have been on Negan, it was fucking nuts back in season 7, man. You had people that absolutely worshipped him, viewers that loved him, and then you had viewers that fucking hated him. And I still don't think I've seen people be that passionate about a character. I can't think of a time where, that a character would split people more than him. So it's a sign of a good actor when they can make you feel things that emotionally charged. I just think that era for The Walking Dead was when everything was most popping, like social media. The fans were so engaging. You could just start talking to fucking people about it. It was electric. And then now, it's just, I feel like the online community ain't what it was. And there's definitely been like a change in a tone shift. And yeah, I don't know, that era and the storyline, the Saviors storyline, even down to things like the music, like Arsonist's Lullaby by Hosier was featured. I know I mentioned Easy Street a while ago, but like the music in those two, it just, I don't know, everything about it just sticks out more to me. You had Ezekiel first to pop up as well. Zeke was introduced to the show. Shiva, that whole stuff was just, it was just fucking nuts. I loved it. And that is the hill I will die on, and I don't care. You're more than entitled to disagree with me. I totally fine with that. But I love those 2 seasons so dearly. On to season 8 then, All Out War. I'll put it in good. We might bump it up. Let's talk. First of all, I think one of the high points of the season was the finale. I love, what was it called? Mercy? Was it called Wrath? What was that called? Yeah, it was called Wrath, but it was about mercy. I did like how it was done. I liked the emotion, the acting was incredible. Again, music choice, everything about the finale I liked. But that cop out where they slit Negan's throat and then he was like, yeah, fix him. Man, that shit. I get it. I get the symbolism, but Jesus. But I think of season 8. I think of like Simon. I think of the junkyard. I think of, they're no way connected. Well, they are actually, because he ends up killing everyone there. But I think of like Jadis, the junkyard. The CG deer, unless I'm much mistaken, I'm pretty sure that was season 8. Think of Coral, my guy Coral, which then ties into Sadiq as well. So there was a lot of good points this season. It just I don't know, it wasn't my favourite. I do like the concept of it, I do like the tension of it, but it was just good. It was just good. Season 9 I'm putting up in great. 2 reasons. The blizzard, which is one of my favourite moments ever, to go into season 9. Well, actually it was the end of season 9. Be in your 9th season of a show and pull something like that out of your arse, to pull something that we weren't expecting, haven't seen before. I mean, like The Walking Dead, it's always, when I think of The Walking Dead, I think of like that kind of, overly saturated, sun-scorched kind of yellowy landscapes. I know we haven't. That's more fear, actually. That's more fear. We haven't really seen much of that kind of shit from The Walking Dead, but that's what I think of. You know what I'm saying? Because it's in America, it's in the South, whatever. It's filmed in Georgia. It's hot. You never think snow. You never think icicles or blizzards. So it was just so nice and different to see the characters in that setting. Some of the icicle walker kills, some like the frozen walker kills, sorry. That was some of my favourite shit. Rick's departure is another reason. Okay, there's actually 4 reasons why I like this season. Fuck. I was way off. What did I say? There was only 2. Favourite part of the season was the snow and the blizzard. Second favourite part was Rick's departure. That whole episode was an absolute masterpiece. So I'm still not entirely sure how the fuck they're going to wrap that up and bring him back and make it work in the show. I don't think we're ever getting the Rick movies. I've just given the fuck up on that. I think everybody was pissed when it was announced that he was leaving. I honestly think this episode kind of softened the blow for me. I still miss him and it stings every now and again. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think viewers have gotten used to a show post Rick, like without him. But everyone's talking about it. Everyone just wants him to come back now. It's like, okay, it worked for a while, fine, but now that the show's coming to an end, you have to bring him back. It doesn't fucking make sense otherwise. But I think it was so beautifully handled. everything about that episode. The dream sequences were fucking stunning. Again, the music choice, the emotions, that it just, I really loved it. I really loved it. I think my favorite part of that whole episode, if I'm honest, was Denai. Her, the way she just lets it go. She just fucking, that scream, the way she's crying when the bridge blows up. Wow. It was also the last time we got Scott Wilson on film, on camera, whatever. It was the last role he did before he passed. It's just a real special episode, and it's probably one of my absolute favourite episodes of The Walking Dead ever. So that's one of the reasons why I love this season. You had The Whisperers, which is one of the more stronger arcs, in my opinion, from The Walking Dead. And you had the introduction of the new group, I guess, so Magna, Yumiko, Luke, all of them. You had the introduction of them, and I think it was kind of needed after like dealing with a blow such as Rick leaving. You need to bring in and introduce more characters to try and fill that hole. And I feel like they were a pretty solid group. But like they completely underutilized Luke. He just pissed right off now. Again, I get it. I do get it. The actor, Dan, went and did Fantastic Beasts. So it's like they had to come up with like some kind of, oh, he went over here for a while, he'll be back. But at the same time, he was really well fleshed out when they first introduced him. The whole Stradivarius thing. I feel like he was likable, and then we just haven't really seen him. Why do I think, was this the season that we also had the Father Gabriel and Jadis romance? I remember that just absolutely knocking the wind out of my lungs. I was like, right? I mean, she was right, because I didn't start crushing on Gabe really until I think season 10, late season 10. She was way ahead of the game. Props to you, Jadis. Props to you. I would put season 10 in good. But simply for the bonus episodes, I'm putting it in great. I loved the bonus episodes we got for the back half of that season. You had the Aaron and Gabe episode and the Here's Negan episode. The two of them. Oh, and Princess's episode in the train cart. I think the bonus episodes I enjoyed more than the actual season. The fact that they did what they did with those bonus episodes was just, it was nuts. I mean, like, you know, production on pretty much every filming thing had halted or stopped. We didn't know when we were going to get season 11, if we were going to get season 11. Fans knew nothing. The people who worked on the projects didn't know anything. So the fact that we got the bonus episodes, I think in the future we'll look back on and it'll be like, shit, you guys remember that? Do you remember that when the whole world just fucking froze? And I think you'll particularly see it with Here's Negan and with the Princess episode, because of how isolated both are. So like with Princess's episode, it was pretty much just her carrying the whole thing with Ezekiel, because social distancing and trying to limit the amount of people on set. And I think, yeah, in years to come, you look back on them and they'll be like a little time capsule, a perfect example of what the fuck was going on in the world. And I think Here's Negan is probably one of my favourite episodes ever. That episode alone I would put in superior territory. Actually, I'd like to rank some of the episodes maybe sometime. That could be fun, because it's hard ranking a season when seasons have highs and lows. Whereas episodes, they'd be probably more straightforward to list. I might do that next. But yeah, I think that maybe the bonus episodes carried that season for me. As much as I did enjoy the Whisperer War, and I loved the whole Lydia storyline. Getting like, you know, the backstory on Beta, all that fun shit. It was a great season, but the bonus episodes for me, top tier. If I could just take those six, was it six? If I could just take the bonus episodes from season 10 and just put them up in superior, that's where they would be. And I would probably put season 11, where we stand right now, into this tier as well. I'd put it into great. It'll be up here beside season 10. Funny, I have no seasons down in trash. I have no seasons that I absolutely hate. I know a lot of people will probably flip my list completely and be the opposite, but I'm kind of a nostalgic person, and I'm very much setting my feelings and setting like the vibes and the kind of aura around things. So I think that's why like my layout is as it is, because it's very much like, yeah, I enjoyed a certain season of a show, but why I enjoyed it isn't just like it was good television. For me, it's so much more. It's, you know, was it a comfort at a time in my life when I needed it? Was it like I just love the time that I can remember looking back on when I was watching it? Like I said, the kind of discourse online that surrounds each season as well. Were you online? Were you invested in the fandom during a particular time? So yeah, that's where my list ranks as of now. I can already hear people telling me I'm wrong, and I just don't fucking care anymore. Thank you guys so much for watching. Be sure that you let me know your thoughts down below, how you'd rank them. Yeah, I think I'm going to try and do an episode ranking. That will be a monster. How many episodes of The Walking Dead even is there? But I think that would be easier to rank than seasons. I should have done that first. Fuck. Yeah, like I said at the start of the video, the link to my Patreon and Instagram and all that fun stuff is down below should you want to find me anywhere else it isn't YouTube. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll talk to you all soon. Time to dye my fucking hair again.